Good morning, day 20 of the 66 Days to Transform Your Self-Image Experience with yours truly, Laura J. Wanting to say that I just saw a message from Kellyanne Wolf saying, just wait until they find out the Messiah was a woman. And it made me laugh because woman was all caps. And I take things so literally anymore that it's just like, that's dog Latin. You've just mixed jurisdictions. You're using sign language amidst English, proclaiming the emphasis to be why you did what you did, yet not necessarily seeing that when we actually capitalize more than two letters within a word, we are actually changing it to be a sign language that appears to be like English, but it follows sign language rules, which is Latin. And so it means that my name, Laura, for instance, would be L.A.U.R.A. Because every single one of those letters would then stand alone because it's a sign now rather than a letter, because it's changed the jurisdiction, which means the juris, which is of right or of law, and the diction of what is spoke or wrote about the rules applied to the thing, which is the sin of tax, that syntax is, which is the application of meaning to words that have semiotics and semantics at play within the same sentence that can be written by the hand of a man or woman acting as an agent for the public corporation that is orating mandates that are causing harm, loss, and perpetuating fraud. And please understand, I just heard about the new emergency measures pandemic plan. The WHO Pandemic Treaty claims in May 2024 they'll start the protocol to move the pandemic preparedness plan forward with the WHO in charge of diplomacy. This corporation is bought and paid for by big pharma and banks. So no shots mean no coin. And if you think I'm talking about one in the arm, I'm talking about the one to your head that says you can't think for yourself because you've got to submit your free will for the sake of a group will that will instill toxic positivity, toxic belief systems, toxic bullshit into your organic system that then is going to have to fight between what is organic and real versus what is inorganic and counterfeit. Darwinism theory will exterminate the weak and create disease within those overtaken by inorganic substances with an unlimited ability for the WHO to call another scamdemic that was written by the hands of men and women, which is why I call it a pandemic, written by the hands of agents that are always a man or woman first in their private capacity who then put on the suit and step into the office of the public. Please understand that a public office or a public position does not supersede what it means to be one who bleeds red, just like everyone else when oxygen hits the blue blood that all of us carry until it's oxygenated. Please understand it is time to see this whole adrenochrome phenomenon of actually filling our cells with adrenaline, that it actually gives a high to someone that were to get a vibe of the hit that we actually produce within the greatest pharmacy that has ever existed. If you're a fact checker clearing your throat saying, oh no, she denotes our God and the false idols of our cult you are, which is the culture, that we have a responsibility to intentionally impact for the better. If you, an agent right now in this moment, are judging me, first person in my story on my channel that is a second person platform that is separate from me and I cannot access without the interface that would allow me to be seen on your screen in this moment. Any agent watching this now that is going to say this in any way contrabands, interferes with what you revere, you got to put your name to it. Because if you stay an anonymous suit, then I got no one to boot in the ass when you're causing me harm, loss, and participating in fraud because I have said nothing that is not true, that I would not stand behind in a court of law of which I am competent in the jurisdiction of. Legalese, not one that I am versed in, will not claim to understand it, for then I will stand under that which is fictitious when I am real. No, I am not going to be boxed in by that which is only going to say that it rules because I gave it permission to make me drool, because I allow myself to get so drugged out on pharmaceutical products that actually numb me and prevent me from fully using the autonomy that I have within my body to self-generate, to heal myself, to do what he did and so much more. We have the capacity and capability to do it if only we are willing to heal it and see it and feel it and actually move through it. So, now that my passion is saying, I don't want you to feel like this is a lecture, because it is not that. The lect you are not being defined by. But what you'll find is that divine that you come from is a family line that is all happening now. What if the people that we read about that died before we came here, what if we were actually the incarnated versions of them at that time? Fragments of us existed as them, for we are all part of the same source. Until then, we find the resources of one another and the information that we have got into formation so that we can get into formation and share our information in a way that does not say any nation is superior to what we are who are here. What do you say to all of this? It's a long message. There's a lot of content, and you may not be content with what is shared here either. But what I do say is that it is time for us to see that May 24th is when the next vote apparently occurs. And they're going to come for our guns and guys. In the guise of a justified war, we must take up arms in our hands, so we're preoccupied when the government comes. I just learned about a quasi-usufruct that can be created even over goods that aren't consumable goods. Did you know that? It allows for the transfer of assets while retaining complete control. A quasi-usufruct agreement governs the relationship and allows the bare owner's restitution claim to be liquidated when the time comes, because the commercial realm are the water laws of the Admiralty Maritime Law, where you got to defend your position lest an imposition be put onto your position that you then have to pay the price for, because ultimately the Pied Piper will lead us all back to the devil it knows. Until we say, no, 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 we will not goes. But for now, I will. I hope you've enjoyed this. I look forward to your comments, truly. So I have a theory that the Messiah actually is the mess I am that grounds their mess and turns it skyward to say, I am but an individuated expression of the grand overall designer that created all things, including me, which does not exclude everything outside of me yet legally. That would be what the trick word includes actually means. Did you know that? Did you know that the Messiah is the one that goes the way to show the way? That we don't need to wait for someone that a book with a companion manual that founded the legal fiction and the fraud that we've all been giving the nod to due to omerta, which is the Italian mob code to keep it quiet and in between private individuals, because if you've got an overlord that's part of a different manor house than the mainstream, well then you gotta keep toeing the line. This is what the Brotherhood is all about. What is the brotherhood? Well, I am not part of it, so I don't know. But what I do know is that there is a sisterhood as well. And when women were in power, we didn't treat the men as honorably as we could have if we chose to be the genie of our own world. Did you know I'm actually Laura Jean Ellen, which is the J, and Hamilton for truly Canadian A, so that's why I go by Laura J now. But this skin genie is what I'm actually using to clean up me weenie issues in me face. And then I've also got some serum that is very similar actually to my blue bottle days back in England when I worked as an independent skincare consultant and loved it. I did all of the trainings that I could, and I even won an incentive trip in my first year that took me to the Vanderbilt Grace Spa Hotel in Rhode Island. Yes, thank you. That was amazing. And actually, then we also got to go on the trip to Dallas, which was the leaders trip. And that was awesome because I got to meet the Kindersley family that actually own NYR and NYR Organic, which is the home division of the public company, which is a private corporation, the private sector of the public domain. These are all of the ways that we're kind of confused till we're lost, and then we don't want to admit that we lost it, so then we just carry on and try to catch up and feel winded even before we start pacing together. So yeah, I'm aware of all of this, and I'm going to say have an amazing day. I send so much love your way, and thank you for actually tuning in, paying attention till the end, leaving a comment to let me know what this message means to you, for you, and what you're going to do with it. And whatever else you want to share, I look forward to seeing it. Thanks.